What's up guys, this is Rise and welcome to another video. Everyone in the community has been talking about this Pokemon, Galvantula. Galvantula is an electric bug type Pokemon that recently got access to a new move called Lunge. And Lunge is a bug type clone of Icy Wind. It's very effective because it lowers your opponent's attack every single time, and it also deals a pretty good amount of damage because Galvantula is so highly attack weighted. You'll see Galvantula gets a ton of good leads, and I actually go 22-3 on the day. That's right, 22 wins and 3 losses out of 25 matches. Pretty crazy. I'm going to show you my first 10 or so. I go, I think, 8-2 in these 10, which means I went on quite a run, which might be tomorrow's video. Little teaser for that. Without further ado, let's get into these matches. So I'm running a team, as you're going to see, of Galvantula in the lead, Azumarill and Stunfisk, Galarian Stunfisk. And I know what you might be thinking, like any Pokemon is going to look good when it's matched up with, when it's teamed up with Azumarill and Galarian Stunfisk. But you'll see that Galvantula more than pulls its weight in this lineup. We're going up in this first game against Pinheiro, Danny, and Galvantula in this first set, I think it wins every single lead for me. Probably one of the best matchups you could ask for within the meta, a Skarmory lead. So we're just going to go straight discharge here. We're probably going to get the shield, but it's not really worth baiting because the lunge would be double resisted. We are going to definitely shield the Sky Attack because Galvantula is very glassy and these Sky Attacks would hurt. So you see we outpace the Skarmory, so we can overfarm just a bit, but we still have to throw the discharge because we couldn't farm all the way down. But now, since he's staying in, we can just shield this and farm all the way down, and we're going to have a move ready for whatever comes in. And that's why Galvantula is so effective, because I already almost have 2 moves. In comes a Whiscash, and I'm going to be able to double lunge this thing. I'm going to double debuff it, as well as put on a lot of damage. There's a lot of neutral damage there against quite a tanky Pokemon in Whiscash. And yeah, 2 lunges. So Galvantula just took out that Skarmory, and it got Whiscash all the way into the red. And we're just going to come in with Azumarill. I'm going to Ice Beam this Altaria. And then I think I switch into my Stunfisk just to absorb some damage. And this way, the Whiscash will have to unload all that energy onto this Stunfisk, and then Azumarill can just clean up in the back. So this game is all but over. This was the first game of the day, and once again, I go 22-3. I encourage you to watch that whole stream if you want to. A 22-3 run. I also do quite a bit of rapping. Actually, I think I live rapped and tried to battle at the same time. It was kind of crazy. And I actually won that game, which was even more crazy. But there we go. GG's in the first game. It was fun to use a very strong team after doing the 75 unique Pokemon challenge. It felt a lot easier sticking with one team and seeing multiple situations versus if you're using 75 unique Pokemon, you're like not gonna see the same situation. Once again, phenomenal lead. I think once again, I think this first set is all good leads. So you're gonna be like, Rise, like anyone could win with these leads. Maybe you're right. Maybe anyone could. I'm not going to disagree. But yeah, we're in a good matchup here. They usually go for the Earthquake first, so I generally shield the Earthquake first because it takes out like almost half health of Azumarill. I build up like I'm going for Hydro Pump, and then I go straight Ice Beam. And at this point, I don't have to shield, even though he's probably going to Earthquake me. Oh, I actually called the Rock Slide. That's huge. Yeah, I wasn't going to shield anyway, so probably not the best bait on his part. Going for this Ice Beam because it's like 16 turns to get to the Earthquake and 15 to get to the Ice Beam, so we get to the second one, but then it's 7 one-shots for the second Earthquake, so I guess maybe he would beat us there anyway. We are going to play rough this Azumarill, and this is kind of tricky. So I was really hoping he doesn't bubble me all the way down. And this is amazing that he's throwing, because I probably would have got to the play rough, but he would have had a ton of energy, which would have been difficult for my back line to deal with. So this is amazing. I'm getting ready for the switch. That's why I didn't throw the discharge right away, but he's staying in there, so I'm going to throw the discharge. and he shields. I get the last shield, which is great. And then I switch immediately into Stunfisk, and this is GG's. One Earthquake should KO the Bastiodon. If it doesn't KO, it puts it into like farm down range. Bastiodon's just ridiculously tanky. You don't have to worry about shielding anything if you're a Galarian Stunfisk versus a Bastiodon, because even the Flamethrower, as you saw, doesn't even take out half health, even though it's super effective. And Galarian Stunfisk, no Galvantula needed to take out the Azumarill. We win with the shield. GG's to that trainer. Really fun using Galvantula. I know FP Sticks used Galvantula quite a bit, like even before it became popular. He's made some videos on it. I think I have one Galvantula video from last season. Obstagoon. I actually saw quite a few Obstagoons in the lead. Maybe your boy has popularized it a bit. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just coincidence. But I actually decided to shield the first one. Normally against an Obstagoon, you don't shield the first one because the first one isn't boosted. It's not going to do as much. But in this situation, I'm going to be debuffing the Obstagoon. So I shield the first one because it's going to do the most. And these lunges will keep debuffing the Obstagoon. And they would land. If they land, they take out like 60% health. Oh, excuse me. Of the Obstagoon. I am going to shield this, I think, because I don't want to risk it KOing me. It would be pretty close. He switches, and it was a really nice play because I tapped the Volt Switch already. So before I could switch, the Fire Spin registered and took out my Galvantula, and all that energy went to waste. So really nice play by the opponent. Let's see if we can come back from it, though. Yeah, he just goes for Bone Club, which is probably a mistake because he was only going to get to one move, I think. And Shadow Ball would definitely do way more. He comes back in with Obstagoon, and he is shieldless. And luckily, I don't think this trainer had Gunk Shot. Yeah, Cross Chop. Probably go for the Night Slash there in case you get to 2. And at this point, this is pretty much over. We just have to be a little careful in case that Obstagoon has a Cross Chop ready. We don't want to be in a situation where Skarmory takes out our Azumarill, and then we get our Stunfisk gets cross chopped by the Obstagoon. So I'm just keeping things like that in mind. Could be a Sky Attack, probably most likely a Sky Attack. Yep, that's perfectly fine with us. I charge up to an Ice Beam and I switch, and that way I can farm up, I think, on this Skarmory. Yeah, this is actually going to be kind of close. I probably should have just thrown the Ice Beam. I think that would have been a lot simpler. But I charge up to 2 Rock Slides, and that ensures my win because I can double Rock Slide. If Obstagoon wins CMP, I have an Ice Beam loaded as well. So that was just kind of like for safe measure right there. Maybe it was unnecessary. Probably could have just Ice Beamed the Skarmory because I don't think I was in like cross chop range if I remember correctly. Maybe I was. I think I was kind of low. I'd have to go back and see to make sure. Going against Jay, Manuel. Lanturn, interestingly, so if this is Spark, it's pretty good for us. It is Spark, so we're dealing neutral damage and they're dealing resisted damage. I'm going straight for the lunge because both moves hit for neutral, and this will debuff the Lanturn. And since this was only, like, Galvantula gets to lunge pretty quick, and this was only 4 turns after, so I assumed it was just a Thunderbolt. He switches it to a Wigglytuff. Oh man, is this my team? I didn't even realize. Is this my like season 1 team of Wigglytuff, Lanturn, and Toxicroak? Let's see, maybe. I go for the Earthquake. He shields it, very nice. I'm gonna shield the Ice Beam because it would still hit for quite a bit of damage, even though I would survive. And I want to make sure I retain Switch because I don't want my Azumarill lined up with the Lanturn. That would be very bad. He shields both Earthquakes. Very interesting. I'm not sure if that's the right play because there's really no scenario in which he wins this matchup. Because I get to that 3rd Earthquake before he can even get to a 2nd charge move. And no, it's not my team. It's Skarmory. I thought about switching out here into Galvantula. But I decided just to stay in, I guess. The proper play probably would have been to switch. Okay, but he's going to use his energy, so that's great. That's phenomenal. Now I can just match up my Azumarill with the Skarmory and the Galvantula with the Lanturn. I get to this. I think this might KO, and even if it doesn't, that's fine because it'll put this Lanturn super low. It does KO, and wow, Galvantula is going to put on a clinic here. Takes out the Lanturn, and now it's going to take out the Skarmory. Just so many great matchups, guys. Skarmory, Azumarill, Lanturn, as we saw. And all the psychic types like Hypno. If you see like a Mantine, a Cast Form. You don't really see Gyarados in the Great League. But that bug typing is super effective against the dark types like Obstagoon right here. Umbreon. Just so many. Just so many great matchups. He pulls a nice swap here to catch this move with Haunter. But he shields anyway, so it didn't really matter. And now I can just go in here with Stunfisk and just go straight Rock Slide. And I know that Stunfisk and Haunter, I believe, get to like Rock Slide and Shadow Punch at the same time. So I figure I'm just going to call this since the Haunter's been debuffed. And since he got to this one before I got to one, then I know it's just a punch. So then I overfarm a little bit, but I don't get too greedy. I don't want to risk him if he got in like a couple extra fast moves somewhere. But yeah, the reason I didn't shield the first one was because I thought maybe, I didn't shield the first one because I thought since he's been debuffed, he probably didn't, the Shadow Ball wouldn't KO anyway. Sorry, that was a struggle for me to articulate that. And it looked like he either went for the Night Slash or like undercharged there to try and counter down, but it allowed me to get a cross chop. Now I actually come in with the Azu because I don't have to fear anything except the Gunk Shot, and I shield correctly the Gunk Shot. So everything this match seems to be going right. Now I can come in with Galvantula, and let's see how much he gets the charge move first. So I'm definitely going to shield because if this is a Fire Punch, it would for sure KO. And then I'm going to go for this lunge. Let's see how much this lunge does. I think it's going to do a ton of damage. Bug super effective against Psychic. Man, look at that. It just barely doesn't put the Hypno into farm down range. Hypno snuck in an extra confusion, so he gets to the second Fire Punch. One bubble takes out the Hypno, and I can just play rough this Obstagoon for the victory. We're playing rough out here. Azumarill cleaning up. But man, Galvantula put in work. That's a 5-0 set to start the day. You see, we were 14 of 25 because of the 75 unique Pokemon challenge, and we quickly climb up in terms of our record. I'm gonna stay on this screen for a little bit. I was probably like talking to the people. Catch 'em all ousey. It's kind of like is that like the Australian version of catch me outside? How about that? So here, this is not a good lead because the Stunfisk triple resists our Volt switches. So I switch into my Azu, which I probably shouldn't have now that I think about it, because this is my best counter for that Stunfisk. So it's going to be difficult to deal with later on. But he swaps into his own Azu. We have Play Rough. If he doesn't have Play Rough, oh, that was a really weird glitch. Sorry that it glitched like that. This footage, yeah, I think there was something that went wrong a little bit, but we still know the situation. So he hit us with a charge move. Now we can probably come in with Galvantula, shield once, and completely farm down. Yeah, so these first two sets, the footage, my screen recording turned out okay, and I think I can't leave it on for like an entire day of sets because like after these first two sets, they get super glitchy, and I could only use these. So I'm actually gonna show you guys a huge winning streak. Stay tuned to see how long the winning streak was at the end of this video. But I'm gonna show you a huge winning streak I had with this team live from Twitch version for tomorrow's video. But the Mud Bomb lands. These lunges though really chip away at this Stunfisk, and Stunfisk cannot Thunder Shock us down. So it's going to be forced to throw a move if it wants to take us out. Okay. Man, it's skipping ahead again. That stinks. There's nothing I can really do about that because this is just how the video exported. So apologies. But what happened was we tried to farm down with our Galarian Stunfisk, and against his Stunfisk, and now he is in with a Victini, and unfortunately he built up to 2 V creates. Victini was not in Rock Slide range, so that's why I was trying to build up to 2 before. Now I take it out, but he has a Mud Bomb already, so very nicely played by him in this one, and we take the L. First loss of the day came in the second set, but that's okay. You can't win them all. And I think that was like a very winnable game too, especially if we CMP tied. If we CMP tied on the charge move and he let it go, I could have won. But Victini would have a V create anyway, and it probably would have shielded, so it didn't matter. So Galvantula versus Galvantula, mirror match. Basically, whichever Galvantula wins CMP wins the match. And unfortunately, this Galvantula wins CMP against us, so that's not good. I decided not to shield. Look how much damage that does. That's pretty crazy. I thought about switching there, which was probably a dumb move, but I just throw the lunge, and he can't volt switch me down. So this actually isn't bad, because he goes for the volt switch down, and I'm just gonna get this off, and I'm gonna get a shield. And now I can just let my Galvantula go and come in with Stunfisk. And nothing this Galvantula throws at me is going to do like any damage. He throws a lunge. Yeah, you see it barely does anything, and I can just mud shot down. And I'm probably going to switch almost no matter what. This thing that comes in it's an Azu. So I switch, and he's staying in, which is very interesting. So whatever's in back probably is not good against Azu. So what do we think it could be? Maybe it's his own Stunfisk. And he's running Hydro Pump as well. So this puts us in quite the favorable position, showing you that sometimes energy advantage is more important. It's a Toxicroak. Oh, that's right. And this made me think, like, why on earth did he not come in with the Toxicroak against the Stunfisk? And the only thing I could think of was we could have maybe double shielded and double earthquaked. So that's maybe what he was thinking. But I think either way, man, I think you got to come in with the Toxicroak, because those counters and mud bombs are going to add up so fast. So yeah, that kind of boggled my mind. I decided just to go for this Ice Beam because I think I was counting moves, and I think he was right at one. So I was hoping for like a CMP tie here, and all I wanted to do was get him into Earthquake range. So basically what I'm thinking here is he has to use energy to take me out, then I can come in with my Stunfisk, and I can shield once, and I already have energy loaded, and I can Earthquake. I knew this was just an Ice Beam most likely, but it's kind of that psychological thing, like, you know it's just an Ice Beam, but you want to shield just in case it's a Hydro Pump. He would have had to sneak in like 3 bubbles on me, or 2 bubbles, I guess. So we take the win there. Very nicely done. Galvantula going off. Stunfisk cleanup. I think all 3 of these Pokemon are kind of showing off how good they can be, but for Galvantula, it's kind of like that sports debate. Like, we're putting Galvantula in the same sentence as Azumarill and Stunfisk. Another Obstagoon lead. I like this lead. Once again, I usually shield the first Night Slash because it does the most damage before the debuffs. Obstagoon kind of has to shield the lunge. If the game lags at all, it's very easy to overtap. So I overtapped there, which is not ideal because that like 1 or 2 counters he got in now does more damage. Oh, he got the boost. He got the boost on the Night Slash. So that's why I swapped into Azumarill. And I call the Gunk Shot again. I figured since he was staying in, he was probably going for the Gunk Shot. I looked away for a second, so I'm not sure if he caught. I looked at the camera for a second, so I'm not sure if he caught that or if I just threw the Ice Beam at the Hypno. I think maybe he caught it. Thunder Punch comes in. It doesn't do all that much. I get off this Play Rough, which is really nice because this will put the Hypno really low. Play Rough lands, puts Hypno into the red. Oh, and I think he got greedy over farming and actually bubble him down, which is huge. Now I can get off a move against whatever comes in. It's a Stunfisk. So I think I probably switch out here. No, what do? I go into my own Stunfisk. What the heck am I doing? Yeah, I don't know if that's the right... I guess I can't switch into Galvantula, and... because Galvantula just gets rock slided and KO'd. But yeah, there goes Stunfisk. Now it's all up to Galvantula. This Night Slash is really gonna hurt since this Obstagoon is at like a neutral attack stat. I go for this lunge, but at this point, the opposing Stunfisk is not low enough for me to take it out. So I figured my only chance was to get to an Ice Beam here. Oh, I do get to the Ice Beam, which actually makes this end up being very close. This is not going to KO. He uses his energy, which makes me think I have a chance. But then check this out, what happens here. I'm like, I need just like 2 Volt Switches, but no. I think I would have needed 3 because they're double resisted. And he got to the Rock Slide after 1 Volt Switch. So it was like kind of close, but it really wasn't that close in that game. You guys ever have those? Like, it looks like it's close, but it really wasn't that close. Like, he won semi-convincingly. Galvantula versus Ivysaur. Another good lead. We can go straight lunge here. We resist the Vine Whips, and we resist the Power Whip, so he has to go for Sludge Bombs against us. He shields the first lunge. I sneak a Volt Switch Hue, which is huge, and I shield this one. This Sludge Bomb, because it would still hit for a lot of damage. I go for the lunge right away, and like again, you kind of want to go for these lunges right away because they're going to debuff your opponent, and the fast moves are going to just do that much less. I think I decided to let this one go through because he's been double debuffed. I go for the aggressive farm down here, and I get it, which is huge. I'm just going to lunge whatever comes in, I think, and I make a bit of a mistake. I should have went for the discharge because it would have done a lot more damage here. But look, lunge still chips away, and now this Lapras is debuffed. I decide, I think, to come in with Azumarill because I saw it was a water gun Lapras, so it's not going to charge up energy as fast. I noticed the Raichu came in, and I threw the charge move anyway because I knew it's going to do a ton of damage. And at this point, since he didn't shield, I can literally just completely mud shot this thing down. The only thing I have to worry about is Grass Knot. Like, Psychic is resisted, still chunks away for sure. But Grass Knot's the only thing that would hit for neutral. And even that, I don't think 2 would KO me. Thunder Punch barely does anything. And now I have like 2 Rock Slides loaded for this Lapras. So I can just safely commit a shield here to my Stunfisk and get off 2 Rock Slides. And that will put the Lapras very low. And I still have a very healthy Azumarill in the back to clean up. So quite a comfortable win here. Rock Slide takes out a lot. And yeah, I came in with Azu because it was a water gun. So water gun would do super effective against my Stunfisk, versus if it was Ice Shard, I might have come in with Stunfisk instead. Maybe I still would have come in with Azu. It's hard to like know what I would have done in that moment. Because Azu technically loses to Lapras, but with Play Rough, maybe it still wins. Has to watch out for that Skull Bash. If Lapras lands that Skull Bash, it wins. So we finally get a bad lead. Let's see how we recover. We go into Azumarill, they go into Skarmory, and I'm like, okay, I can win this matchup. But at the same time, I'm also thinking I have 2 great counters to Skarmory in the back. So maybe I don't win this matchup, and maybe I just farm down with something and have stored energy. So just gonna go build up to a Hydro and go straight Ice Beam. That's how I play this. Do I bother building up here? I build up by 1. This way I still get to the move before him, so maybe he still thinks about it. And I do get the shield, which is nice. And here's what I'm... okay, I do shield. I'm going for switch advantage. I shield the Sky Attack. Okay, man, I must have been counting because Skarmory wins CMP. I get off the Ice Beam, and at this point, he double shields, and I realize I can just shield and bubble down for switch advantage. Because you see these bubbles are doing a little bit more than these air slashes are doing. And now I have a move too for whatever comes in. This was kind of a mistake. I go for the Ice Beam. I should have gone for the Play Rough, because you see I get Mud Shot down, and Play Rough does more damage than Ice Beam, so I should have went for the more hard-hitting move. I actually come in with Galvantula, because Galvantula is kind of dead weight against his Stunfisk anyway. I'm going to survive this Mud Bomb, and my opponent makes a mistake, I think. Yeah, he lets me get off this lunge. He should have swapped there, but he lets me get off this lunge, and then he makes another mistake, and he allows me to farm his Whiscash all the way down. And then check this out. So my Stunfisk ate all those Mud Shots from the Whiscash, and it's actually less healthy than his Stunfisk. And look how much that Earthquake did. And then look how much his Earthquake does. Not as much. So you'll see how important IVs are. I have a pretty good IV Stunfisk, and IVs made the difference in that one. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. 22-3 day with Stunfisk, and make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Oh, sorry, Galvantula. Galvantula was a highlight. Technically with Stunfisk, it was on my mind because it was that last battle at the end. It closed out. But 22-3 day with Galvantula. In tomorrow's video, I've got a 11-game win streak with Galvantula, so you won't want to miss that. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.